Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Brad Paisley. Brad Douglas Paisley is an American country music singer and songwriter. Starting with his 1999 debut album Who Needs Pictures, he has released 10 studio albums and a Christmas compilation on the Arista Nashville label, with all of his albums certified gold or higher by the RIAA. He has scored 32 top 10 singles on the US Billboard Country Airplay chart, 19 of which have reached number 1. He set a new record in 2009 for most consecutive singles reaching the top spot on that chart. Paisley has sold over 12 million albums and won 3 Grammy Awards, 14 Academy of Country Music Awards, 14 Country Music Association Awards, and 2 American Music Awards. He has earned country music's crowning achievement, becoming a member of the Grand Ole Opry. Paisley also wrote songs for Pixar's Cars franchise, Nobody's Fool, etc. Early life. Paisley was born on October 28, 1972 in Glendale, West Virginia. He is the only child of Douglas Edward "Doug" Paisley, who worked for the West Virginia Department of Transportation, and Sandra Jean "Sandy" Paisley, a teacher. He was raised in Glendale, West Virginia. He has stated that his love of country music stems from his maternal grandfather Warren Jarvis, who gave him his first guitar, a Sears Dan Electro Silvertone, and taught him how to play at 8 years old. At 10 he performed for the first time in public by singing in his church. He later recalled that pretty soon, "I was performing at every Christmas party and Mother's Day event. The neat thing about a small town is that when you wanted to be an artist, by golly, they'll make you one." At age 13 he wrote his first song, Born on Christmas Day, which later appeared on his album Brad Paisley Christmas. He had been taking lessons with local guitarist Clarence "Hank" Goddard. By 13, Goddard and Paisley formed a band called Brad Paisley and the C-Notes, with the addition of 2 of Paisley's adult friends. While in junior high, his principal heard him perform Born on Christmas Day and invited him to play at the local Rotary Club meeting. In attendance was Tom Miller, the program director of a radio station in Wheeling, West Virginia. Miller asked him if he would like to be a guest on Jamboree USA. After his first performance, he was asked to become a member of the show's weekly lineup. For the next 8 years he opened for country singers such as the Judds, Ricky Skaggs, and George Jones. He would become the youngest person inducted into the Jamboree USA Hall of Fame. He also performed at the Jamboree in the Hills. Paisley graduated from John Marshall High School in Glendale, West Virginia in 1991, and then studied for 2 years at West Liberty State College in West Liberty, West Virginia. He was awarded a fully paid ASCAP scholarship to Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, where he majored in music business and received a Bachelor of Business Administration degree from the Mike Curb School of Music Business in 1995. He interned at ASCAP Atlantic Records and the Fitzgerald Hartley management firm. While in college he met Frank Rogers, a fellow student who went on to serve as his producer. Paisley also met Kelly Lovelace, who became his songwriting partner. He also met Chris Dubois in college, and he too would write songs for him. Within a week after graduating from Belmont, Paisley signed a songwriting contract with EMI Music Publishing, and he wrote David Kirsch's top 5 hit Another You, as well as David Ball's 1999 single Watching My Baby Not Come Back. The latter song was also co-written by Ball. 1999-2001, Who Needs Pictures? His debut as a singer was with the label Arista Nashville with the song Who Needs Pictures. In May of that same year he made his first appearance on the Grand Ole Opry. 7 months later he had his first #1 hit with He Didn't Have to Be, which detailed the story of Paisley's frequent co-writer Kelly Lovelace and Lovelace's stepson, McCain Merrin. The album also produced a top 20 hit with Me Neither and his second #1 hit, We Dance, both in 2000. By February 2001 the album was certified platinum. Later in 2000, Paisley won the Country Music Association's Horizon Award, and the Academy of Country Music's Best New Male Vocalist trophy. He received his first Grammy Award nomination a year later for Best New Artist. On February 17, 2001, Paisley was inducted into the Grand Ole Opry. He was 28 when he accepted the invitation, and was the youngest member ever to join. PBS did a 75th anniversary concert special, in which Paisley and Wright sang a song that they co-wrote called Hard to Be a Husband, Hard to Be a Wife. This song later appeared on the compilation album Grand Ole Opry 75th Anniversary, Volume 2. The concert would get a CMA nomination for Vocal Event of the Year. Paisley would later contribute to Wright's 2001 album Never Love You Enough, co-writing the tracks One Night in Las Vegas, Horoscope and Not As In Love. Paisley co-produced the former two tracks with her in addition to playing guitar on them and featuring members of his road band, the Drama Kings. He also sang backing vocals on One Night in Las Vegas and Not As In Love. 2001-03, Part 2. In 2002, he won the CMA Music Video of the Year for I'm Gonna Miss Her. Several celebrities have made notable guest appearances in the video, including Little Jimmy Dickens, Kimberly Williams, Dan Patrick and Jerry Springer. His three other singles off the Part 2 album, I Wish You'd Stay, Wrapped Around and Two People Fell in Love, which all charted in the top 10. The album stayed in the charts for more than 70 weeks and was certified platinum in August 2002. To support his album, he toured the country as the opening act for Lodestar. 2003-05, Mud on the Tires. Paisley released his third album, Mud on the Tires, following Who Needs Pictures and Part 2. The album features the hit song Celebrity, the video of which parodies television shows such as Fear Factor, American Idol, The Bachelorette, and according to Jim, included such celebrities as Jason Alexander, James Belushi, Little Jimmy Dickens, Trista Wren and William Shatner. The album's title track, Mud on the Tires, reached Billboard #1 in 2004. In addition, the ninth track from Mud on the Tires, Whiskey Lullaby, a duet with Alison Krauss, reached #3 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles. The music video for Whiskey Lullaby also won several awards and was rated #2 on the 100 Greatest Videos by CMT in 2008. The album was certified double platinum. 2005-07, Time Well Wasted. In 2005, after touring with Reba McEntire and Terry Clark on the Two Hats and a Redhead tour, he released Time Well Wasted, containing 15 tracks. This album includes Alcohol, 2 duets, When I Get Where I'm Going with Dolly Parton and Out in the Parking Lot with Alan Jackson, and a bonus track, Pornography, a comedy track featuring the Kung Pao Buckaroos, Little Jimmy Dickens, George Jones and Bill Anderson. On November 6, 2006, Time Well Wasted won the Country Music Association CMA Award for Best Album. It also won Album of the Year at the 2006 ACM Awards. Paisley also contributed 2 original songs to the Disney Pixar's film Cars. These can be found on the film's soundtrack. This was in recognition of his contribution to the Route 66, Main Street America television special. At the 2006 Grammy Awards, Paisley received 4 nominations: Best Country Album, Best Country Song, Best Country Instrumental, and Best Country Vocal Male. 2007-08, Fifth Gear. Paisley's fifth studio album, Fifth Gear, was released in the United States on June 19, 2007. The first 4 singles from the album, Tix Online, Letter to Me, and I'm Still a Guy, all reached number 1 on the country music single charts, making 7 straight number 1 hits for Paisley. Online featured the Brentwood High School marching band playing toward the end of the song, a cameo by Jason Alexander, and again featured a cameo by William Shatner. Throttle Neck would also reach number 1, which would get Paisley his first Grammy. The 5th single from Fifth Gear actually came from a reissued version of the album, a new recording of Waitin' on a Woman, a track cut from Time Well Wasted. The reissued version received unsolicited airplay in late 2006, and features less prominent string guitar and violin parts and a more muted musical tone. For the chart week of September 20, 2008, the song became Paisley's 12th number 1 single, and his 8th straight number 1 hit, making him the artist with the most consecutive number 1 country hits since the inception of Nielsen SoundScan in 1990. Paisley toured April 26, 2007, through February 24, 2008 in support of Fifth Gear on the Bonfires. The tour visited 94 cities over a 10-month period and played for more than 1 million fans. The tour was so successful that it was extended past its original end date to February 2008. Some of the opening acts who appeared during the tour were Taylor Swift, Kelly Pickler, Jack Ingram, Rodney Atkins, and Chuck Wicks. Paisley was nominated for 3 2008 Grammy Awards related to Fifth Gear: Best Country Album, Best Country Collaboration, and Best Country Instrumental. On February 10, 2008, he won his first Grammy Award for Best Country Instrumental for Throttle Neck. In March 2008, Paisley announced his next tour, the Paisley Party, a 42-date tour sponsored by Hershey's. The tour kicked off on June 11, 2008 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with Wicks, Julianne Hough, and Joel as the opening acts. 2008-09, Play. A 6th instrumental album titled Play was released on November 4, 2008. Paisley and Keith Urban released to country radio their first duet together on September 8, 2008. Start a Band. It was the first and only single from Play, and it went on to become Paisley's 13th number 1 hit and his 9th in a row. The album also features collaborations with James Burton, Little Jimmy Dickens, Vince Gill, John Jorgensen, B.B. King, Albert Lee, Brent Mason, Buck Owens, Red Volkert, and Steve Wariner. Paisley and Urban both received Entertainer of the Year nominations from the CMA on September 10, 2008. On November 12, 2008, Paisley won Male Vocalist of the Year and Music Video of the Year for Waitin' on a Woman during the CMAs. 2009-10, American Saturday Night. Paisley announced on January 26, 2009, that he would be embarking on a new tour named American Saturday Night, with Dierks Bentley and Jimmy Wayne opening for most of the shows. Paisley's 7th studio album, American Saturday Night, was released on June 30, 2009. The album's lead single, Then, was released in March 2009 and performed for the first time on American Idol on March 18. It went on to become Paisley's 14th number 1 single and his 10th in a row. On May 6, 2009, Paisley gave an exclusive performance to a small group of members from his fan club in Studio A of the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, as he and his band taped an episode of CMT Invitation Only, which aired on August 3, On July 21, 2009, Paisley performed at the White House for President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama in celebration of country music. Country music at the White House was streamed live on the White House website as well as a special on Great American Country. On November 11, 2009, Paisley co-hosted the CMA Awards for the second straight year. He also performed Welcome to the Future and won both Male Vocalist of the Year and Musical Event of the Year for Starter Band with Keith Urban. On March 1, 2010, Paisley was the first musical performance with American Saturday Night for the second tenure of The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. On March 5, 2010, Paisley slipped and fell performing his last song of the set, Alcohol, at a concert at the North Charleston Coliseum in Charleston, South Carolina, on the final date of the American Saturday Night Tour. Fearing a broken rib, he was held overnight at an area hospital but was released when a CT scan was negative. On July 31, 2010, Paisley performed alongside Carrie Underwood at the inaugural Greenbrier Classic PGA Tour event in Lewisburg, West Virginia. An estimated 60,000 people attended the outdoor event to watch Underwood and Paisley perform in the pouring rain. On August 4, 2010, it was announced on his official website that Paisley would release his first official greatest hits package entitled Hits Alive, released on November 2, 2010. Hits Alive is a double-disc collection, with one disc containing studio versions of Paisley's hit singles, while the companion disc features previously unreleased live versions of his songs. Paisley co-hosted the 44th annual CMA Awards on November 10, 2010, where he was also awarded the CMA's Top Award Entertainer of the Year. During his acceptance speech, Paisley emotionally honored his grandfather who inspired him to play the guitar. In 2012, MSN.com listed American Saturday Night as one of the 21 essential 21st century albums. 2011-12, This Is Country Music. In December 2010, Paisley released This Is Country Music as the title track to his 8th studio album released May 23, 2011. The album's second single, Old Alabama, released to country radio on March 14, 2011 and became Paisley's 19th #1 hit. Remind Me, with Carrie Underwood, was released May 23, 2011 to radio. On March 22, 2011, Paisley's website announced a new beta game titled Brad Paisley World. The game is modeled after other Facebook games such as Farmville or Mafia Wars, and features original animation. The game provides a new way for fans to interact with each other and view exclusive material that would otherwise be unavailable. On May 12, 2011, Paisley's website announced that he would release 2 songs on the soundtrack for the film Cars 2. One of them would be a collaboration with British pop singer Robbie Williams. On September 21, 2011, Mailboat Records released Mark Twain Words, a double CD telling Mark Twain's life in spoken word and song, including a new song by Paisley titled Huck Finn Blues. Paisley's website announced that he was a fan of Twain, prompting his collaboration on the project with Clint Eastwood, Jimmy Buffett, Sheryl Crow, Vince Gill and others. On October 19, 2011, Paisley made a voice cameo as various background characters in the South Park episode Bass to Mouth. On January 14, 2012, Paisley was a guest on Garrison Keillor's Prairie Home Companion, during which he did a rendition of Life's Railway to Heaven by Charles Davis Tillman. On April 25, 2012, Paisley was featured on the South Park episode Cartman Finds Love, in which he voiced himself, sang the national anthem, and helped Cartman sing the 90s hit song I Swear, which was popularized in 1994 by the country musician John Michael Montgomery and the pop group All for One. Paisley extended his virtual reality world tour through mid-2012. He toured the country and made pit stops at local country music festivals. 2012-14, Wheelhouse. On September 20, 2012, Paisley released a new single, Southern Comfort Zone. The song debuted at number 25 on the Hot Country Songs chart, becoming Paisley's highest debut to date. It reached number 2 on the Country Airplay chart in 2013. The song was the first single from his ninth studio album Wheelhouse, released on April 9, 2013. The album's second single, Beat This Summer, was released to country radio on March 4, 2013. It also reached number 2 on the Country Airplay chart in July 2013. The album's third single, I Can't Change the World, was released to country radio on August 19, 2013. Despite a moderately good debut, the single failed to reach the top 20 on country charts, peaking at number 22 on Country Airplay and becoming Paisley's lowest charting single to date. The album's fourth single, The Mona Lisa, was released to country radio on December 9, 2013. It peaked at number 19 on Country Airplay. On June 12, 2013, Paisley announced on his Twitter page that he would join the Rolling Stones on stage during the band's concert in Philadelphia. His track Accidental Racist, a duet with LL Cool J, generated a bit of notoriety when it was released. Paisley sings about how he finds himself caught between Southern pride and Southern blame. Paisley explained HES proud of where HES from, but HES ashamed of themes such as slavery and racism. The song generated controversy for its discussion of racism, particularly the song's message of showing Southern pride, which includes reappropriation of the Confederate flag. 2014-2016, Moonshine in the Trunk. On April 6, 2014, Paisley released Riverbank. It is the lead single from his 10th studio album for Sony Music Entertainment, Moonshine in the Trunk, which was released on August 26, 2014. Paisley co-wrote the song with Kelly Lovelace and co-produced it with Luke Wooten. The album's second single, Perfect Storm, was released to country radio on September 2, 2014. It reached number 1 on the Country Airplay chart in January 2015. The album's third single, Crush and It, was released to country radio on January 26, 2015. The album's fourth single, Country Nation, was released to country radio on September 14, 2015. On May 24, 2014, Paisley traveled on Air Force One with President Barack Obama to visit U.S. troops at Bagram Air Base in Bagram, Afghanistan. Paisley played a full concert for the troops stationed there. On June 1, 2014, Rolling Stone magazine ranked Welcome to the Future (00) in the list of the 100 greatest country songs. In September 2014, Moonshine in the Trunk became Paisley's 8th #1 album on Billboard's Top Country Albums chart. It also became his 9th top 10 pop album and 5th album to reach on the Billboard 200. 2016-present, Love and War. Paisley released Without a Fight, a duet with Demi Lovato, on May 13, 2016. It was to have served as the lead single to his 11th studio album, but due to poor chart performance it did not make the album's final cut. He was selected as one of 30 artists to perform on Forever Country, a mashup track of Take Me Home, Country Roads, On the Road Again, and I Will Always Love You, which celebrates 50 years of the CMA Awards. The second single, Today, was released on October 6, 2016, which gave Paisley his first country digital song sales #1 opening at the top of the chart with 41,000 first-week downloads. The single landed in the #1 spot on the Country Aircheck media-based charts, marking Paisley's 24th #1 song. On November 11, Paisley announced on Twitter that the title of the album would be Love and War, which was released in April 2017. Love and War features several collaborations with iconic artists including Timbaland, John Fogerty, Bill Anderson, and Mick Jagger, as well as a songwriting credit with Johnny Cash. Jug Fishing for Greasy and Other Brad Paisley Fishing Stories. Paisley released his book Jug Fishing for Greasy and Other Brad Paisley Fishing Stories in 2003 under Thomas Nelson Publishing. He co-wrote the book with author M.B. Roberts. Diary of a Player. Paisley released his book Diary of a Player: How My Musical Heroes Made a Guitar Man Out of Me in 2011 under Howard Books Publishing. He co-wrote the book with author David Wild, a contributing editor for Rolling Stone magazine and an Emmy-nominated TV writer and producer. The book is an autobiography and talks about Paisley's introduction to the music industry and how the events in his life helped to prepare him for what was up ahead. The book features topics such as the first guitar that his grandfather gave him, his first band, the C Notes, the first song he wrote, and many more guitar-related topics. Although the book does speak briefly of his personal life, the main focus is on his music and the start of his career. Band. Paisley records his studio albums in most part with the backing of his live band, the Drama Kings. Their first gig together was May 7, 1999. Relationships. In the last months of 2000, Paisley had a relationship with fellow country music singer Shlee Wright. Unbeknownst to Paisley, Wright and her female partner had moved together into a new home earlier in the year. In her autobiography, Wright expressed distress for how she treated him. Paisley and actress Kimberly Williams began dating in 2001. Paisley had first seen Williams in Father of the Bride. Paisley has stated that he watched Williams' performance and thought, "She seems like a great girl, smart and funny and all those things that are so hard to find." In 2002, Williams appeared in a video for the song I'm Gonna Miss Her, the last release from his Part 2 album. The two married on March 15, 2003. At Stauffer Chapel on the campus of Pepperdine University after a 9-month engagement. They live in Franklin, Tennessee and had another home in Pacific Palisades that was sold in 2013. Paisley and Williams' first son, William Huckleberry Huck, was born on February 22, 2007, in Nashville. Their second son, Jasper Warren, was born on April 17, 2009. Hobbies and other interests. Paisley is an active Freemason, a member of Hiram Lodge in Franklin, Tennessee. Paisley is a member of the Southern jurisdiction of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and a noble of the AANMS, also known as Shriners. He was accompanied by his father, Doug Paisley, for the ceremony on October 28, 2006. And has done a number of recordings supporting the virtues of Freemasonry and Amoli International. He is also a lifelong fan of the Cleveland Browns. Paisley sang the national anthem before a game during the 1999 season and stated in an interview with ESPN his dream job would be to play football for them. He also invited former Browns quarterback Brady Quinn to a concert at the Blossom Music Center in 2008. Paisley is also a fan of West Virginia athletics and the Chicago Cubs. In 2014, Paisley appeared as a celebrity guest picker on the popular ESPN show College Game Day. when it was held on the campus of West Virginia University. In late 2009, it was announced in Variety that Paisley would enter the world of scripted television as an executive producer of a new hour-long drama series for the CW network called appropriately Nashville. The plot was written and created by Neil Dodson and actor Matt Bomer. The creator of the series One Tree Hill, Mark Schwann, directed the pilot and was to oversee the series had it been picked up. Actor Zachary Quinto is also an executive producer on the series along with Dodson, Bomer, and Corey Musa. The pilot was not picked up for a series when the CW's fall schedule was announced in May 2010. The CW project is completely unrelated to the current ABC series also named Nashville, even though his wife had a long-running recurring role in it, and he has made 2 cameo appearances himself. Instruments. Paisley's first guitar, a gift from his grandfather, was a Silvertone Dan Electro 1451, which came with an amping case. His next guitar, which he got at the age of 10 or 11 also from his grandfather, was a Secova copy of a Gibson S335 with a Fender Deluxe reverb. The instrument most often associated with him is a 1968 Ping Paisley Fender Telecaster. Brad's main guitars are Crook custom guitars. These guitars are designed by Bill Crook and feature the Paisley wallpaper in a variety of colors. Like many Nashville-based musicians, he lost a number of instruments and other gear in the 2010 flood in Nashville, including a 1970s Gibson Les Paul and the prototype 4AZ Rec, one of the signature Paisley Dr. Z amplifiers. The insurance money, however, allowed him to buy an exclusive 1937 Herringbone Martin D28. In 2010, Paisley and Wampler Pedals released the Brad Paisley signature Paisley Drive, a guitar overdrive pedal designed to his specifications. Paisley has also used Audio-Tech guitar products ABBA selectors for controlling his wireless receiver units. In 2016, Paisley and Dr. Z Amplification collaborated and released the DB4 model. The name DB4 is thus named because it is Doc. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Would you like to know more?